Shibbity wibbity, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another WWE 13 commentary. And this time it is main event. Now, main event looks a little ridiculous at the moment, and that's because I'm still undergoing a proper arena. Now, it's not going to be main event, and that's the point. I want to make my own show, but for right now I'm calling it main event. And next month's universe, I'm going to debut new arenas and new set. New rings, just some really cool stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But first, we're gonna have a rematch to John Cena and Chris Jericho, because obviously I'm unhappy with the results of last Monday. So now it's no disqualification. It's Jericho versus Cena. It's happening right now, and later on tonight, just as we got a double count out with Randy Orton and Alberto Del Rio, they're going to face off in a steel cage match. That is what I want to use this show for. I want to use it to continue feuds and get some closure to any battles we've seen throughout the week. I'm, like me, I don't want to see a disqualification match. I don't want to see a double count out. That ain't happening. So that's what we're doing tonight, general manager style. These two are going to face off. May the best man win, and we'll see where it goes from there. And likewise with Randy Orton and Alberto, there's no way there can be a count out. There has to be a winner. So we're going to see it happen tonight. Now stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Now, one of the things I want to talk about in this episode is a little less about the wrestlers and more about, my universe and how I'm enjoying it so far. Coming through 1 week of it, I'm actually pretty pleased. I think some cool feuds are happening and stuff. I think it's pretty interesting, and to this day too, I've never seen some of these branching cut scenes. I've never seen one. I played a lot of Universe. I went through many years. I just sat down playing for a few hours, for a few days, here and there. And I've yet to actually see any of these branching storylines. I'm really questioning if they exist, or maybe you have to have a certain play style throughout it or something to make it work. But I don't really know personally. But I am happy where Universe is going. I think the people that are watching it are enjoying it. Everyone has, said that they're enjoying it. I've showed it to a few people, some wrestling fans. They're liking it, and we got CM Punk in the crowd here too, by the way. So keep that in mind. I'll be watching you, Punk. But yeah, to me, I want to do something a little interesting with it. I want to use Raw and SmackDown, and we'll just call this main event for now. But I wanted to have my own little show to add something new, almost like instead of having more feuds, I wanted to use it to extend feuds. I don't want it to be a show where I just build up the lower guys, because honestly, I'm not interested in seeing Primo become WWE champion. It's not interesting to me, and I would rather continue feuds. If a match ends weird, or there's someone who interferes at the end of a match, or just anything, I want to see, let's not wait another week. We'll settle this right here, right now. We'll go right to the, I'm still thinking of a good name for it. We'll call it main event for right now. So I would like to see more of that implemented. I'm still designing an arena. I'm not finished with it yet, but I promise when the next month comes out, I will have it done, because that's something I've been meaning to get to. I've just been playing a lot of Far Cry 3, and yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of that game. Speaking of which, if you want to see any of free roaming of that, just let me know. I'll try to put something up, but probably not going to do a playthrough on that, as I'm sure I've said in a previous video. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about too is the previous Raw that just passed, which I gotta say I didn't like. I don't know about a lot of people, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I feel like, and I'll tell you why, it's mainly because of how there's no Dolph Ziggler, the guy they're building up to, probably win at WrestleMania. That's what I'm assuming. That's just an assumption. Nobody knows. Don't act like you do. And then they were burying Miz constantly. It seems like no matter what he does, he's getting buried. And then the Shield angle, it's Nexus 2.0. I just mean, it's everything they're doing is just, I feel like, is going in a wrong direction. I'm not trying to be one of those internet wrestling community fans. I'm trying to give legit feedback that it's not, it's just not interesting. It's the same crap over and over and over, and me personally, I don't find it that interesting. I feel like there's a lot more interesting stuff they could be doing. Like me personally, there's so many different changes I would make. Like Chris Jericho would be in the main event by far, but I would like to see him face Dolph Ziggler though, because I feel like Ziggler and him have awesome chemistry. I feel like Ziggler is one of the best sellers in the business, and Jericho is one of the best in the business. Pure and simple. Anyone who denies that Jericho's great, it clearly does not know wrestling. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact. Jericho is one of the best. You can't get much better. But yeah, I don't know. Raw, I just feel like it's just getting really stale lately, which is a shame. I'm really hoping, in the next couple weeks it'll be building up to something great. But I have a feeling you're going to see the end of Shield come WrestleMania. That's what they're building up to, and you're going to see Super Cena beating the hell out of everyone in the next couple weeks. Rio's, I'm not sure what to expect with Rio, but he's more of a SmackDown guy anyway. But that's another thing, too, I wish they would just do, is just stop this brand crap. There's not enough high caliber, high main eventer wrestlers in the business right now to sustain two brands. Like, at one point there really was, but there isn't now. Like, you could benefit off having two shows, making feuds more interesting, and I would watch SmackDown then, but this brand stuff is just silly, so I'd love to hear instead of a draft, they're just going to get rid of this stupid nonsense, but, maybe that's just me being a little critical, I guess, on the product, but that was just what I want to see personally in the future, have the brands split up, or just have both shows just, none of this, like, it makes, the draft lottery, it makes it pointless. It really does. Like, if Daniel Bryan goes to this show, he's still going to be on both shows. If John Cena went to SmackDown, it wouldn't even matter, because he'd still be on Raw every week. It's like, who cares? I don't know. That's my 2 cents. If you disagree, please let me know, but that's just the way I feel about it. Another thing I would probably do if I was in charge of things, which in my universe I am, I really wouldn't have Cena in the main event. Like, let me rephrase that actually before I go any further with that, because people are going to take that the wrong way. I would have him in the main event, because I do think he's, not a bad performer, as I said before. He's not terrible, but I wouldn't have him the top guy. Because I feel like that's what WWE does wrong these days, is they're taking guys who are pretty boys, who can draw a lot of attention, like where guys want to be them, girls want to do them, kind of guys like that. And to me, that's not, you can call it sports entertainment all you want, you're just making a male modeling contest with punching. That's all you're doing. So it's like, hey, if you're not, big enough or good looking enough, you're not going to make it to the top, and that's just how it is. I mean, it's about getting over too, but for the most part, that's what WWE's become. Who's the best looking one to be the top star, and I feel like that shouldn't be like the tools for your company's success. Like, what do I know? I'm not a millionaire. I'm making YouTube videos in my spare time. I'm just saying from a viewer standpoint, that's what I see. Like Sheamus, for example, I think Sheamus is great. I think he's a great performer. I think he's one of the top guys. He should be. He deserves it. I think he's a great worker. He's great on the mic. I think he's funny as hell. But he got pushed too fast. That is what they do with people. They push them too fast. They don't get over, and then they just give up on them. Like, oh, it's your fault because you didn't get over. No, it's actually your fault for pushing someone when they're clearly not ready. Just because they're big doesn't make them good. Okay, like, I hate to break it to you, that's the God's honest truth. Like Khali, for example, he's not good. He never was good. He's never gonna be good, and it's not because he's talentless. It's because he's too big. He's a big guy. I mean, granted, the whole angle where they were trying to pull with him being this dominant, unstoppable giant, it works for that, but believe it or not, it gets boring, and so does Cena, for example. And what's going on here? Oh, a right hand from Punk, and Jericho's down, but I guess we know why Punk was down here. But It looks like Cena's going to pick up the scraps here, but as my point I was making is the same thing with Cena, where you have this guy who seemingly unstoppable and then suddenly can overcome all the odds because he's John Cena. It's not it's not cool. It's not you know, I mean, it's not entertaining to anyone anymore. Like, for a while when you could get behind Cena and stuff, he was like, oh yeah, here comes the comeback. Here he's going to do it. He's going to rock this one. And then, no, it's like, Cena's doing the 5 moves again. Here he goes. Yup, shoulder, goes around the back, lifts him up, drops him. You can't see me. And then, oh, the F5, the FU. Like, it's, or attitude adjustment rather, sorry about that. But that's what I mean, that's not entertaining. And I feel like that's where WWE goes wrong. Like like John Cena's not a bad wrestler. If you look back in some of his older stuff, if you can find it, he actually puts on some good matches. He has more moves than that. But that's my point, is I wouldn't have him the top guy unless he could actually do more. Like I liked Punk as the champion because instead of his 10 minutes of, you know, being over, instead of it being like doing the same moves over and over, he had personality, and even the simplest things, like even a simple, you know, 1-2 combo, he made it his. He made it special, and I like that. So I think I'd have someone who can do that in the top. I'd have people like that at the top. Like I feel like Rhodes can do it. I feel like Barrett can do that. I feel like I mean, there's guys like I said, like Sheamus, who are getting there. They're not quite there yet, but they're getting there. And but that's who I would have, you know, as the face of the company. But like I said, what do I know? I'm not a millionaire. Vince McMahon has clearly done a good job, and Triple H knows what he's doing. They're all in the business a lot longer, but from a fan standpoint, I think we should be allowed to voice our opinions and say who we want as the face of the company. But then again, if you listen to everyone on the internet, nobody knows what they want on the internet. Look at CM Punk. Everyone's been behind Punk. I mean, like, loved Punk, and now all of a sudden they're like, get Punk. I don't want him to be champion. 400 days is too long. This is stupid. Give it to Cena or give it to... Like, you can't please anyone, and I'm probably looking no better. But, you know, I like to think I could have a little dedication to making top stars relevant again, making them more interesting, and making people over more than just simply being John Cena dominating over, like, I said before, like the Dolph Ziggler steel cage match. You couldn't beat Cena. Even, like, the only thing that would have stopped him was fucking taking an RPG from the turnbuckle and shooting him and blowing the ring up, and even then he probably still would have won the match. And so that's my point. There's ways to go about making people look good, and there's ways of making look people bad. Like, I feel like Ziggler is eventually going to fizzle out because of this, because they're just going to make him look weak consistently. So that's my point, is you won't see John Cena being the top dog in my universe, probably. He'll be in some matches, but probably not the top dog. Okay, well, you guys didn't get to see, as I had to leave for a while and do some stuff, and so I don't know exactly what I was talking about, but I think I was talking about universe. Now Cena is not going to be a major player. But if that is what I was talking about, which I assume it was, yeah, you're going to see some nice surprises that I have planned that I want to book for my universe. And I finally got Sandow and all the downloadable content involved. But, ooh, here comes Big Show. You got to wonder why Big Show needs a pipe. I mean, well, then again, it is Super Cena RPG, remember that. But, right now, we're going to have the steel cage match with Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio. There's gonna be a winner, and with Alberto Del Rio being the champion, if Orton wins tonight, you gotta think that he's gonna be a top contender for the title. Just saying. I know in my universe, if you can beat the champion, you're good enough to face the champion for the title. Okay, that's just how it goes, which is how it should always go. But yeah, I skipped Orton's entrance right there because there's no reason we need to watch the whole entire thing. I'm sorry. It's just, it takes like 14 minutes for him to get to the freaking ring. All he does is have to walk down the ramp, get in the ring, and taunt, and somehow that takes him forever. Same with Rio, and he's gonna take forever to just get to the ring. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, you flaunt that championship. when you're a champion, you can do whatever the hell you want, but I have a feeling Alberto Del Rio is not going to have that championship much longer. If Orton has him in his sights, you can bet your ass that he's not going to be having it long, but I guess we'll see who eventually comes out the #1 contender and who's gonna win at the pay-per-view. But alright, let's get this match underway. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Del Rio personally. I just feel like he's very forced is all. That's where I stand on him, and I think everyone knows where I stand on Randy Orton. But ooh, Del Rio going right for that arm. That's one of the things. If you take out the arm, I gotta admit that's what I like about him though is his finisher, because that cross arm breaker, that is actually a legit painful move. I would not want to have that applied, and I gotta admit that was a nice move on Del Rio. Like I said, if you can't climb the cage, how are you gonna get out? I guess you can get out the door, but it's a little harder getting out that door when someone's not gonna let you. It's easier just to climb out of the cage, get over the top, and you're out the door. They gotta unlock it and all that crap. But me, I'm thinking climbing the top is the way this match is gonna end. But I guess we're gonna find out right now. This is really one of the things I like about this show too that we're doing, because I love how we can kind of do these kinds of matches. Like, I'm not going to do anything that I think should be pay-per-view worthy. Like, title matches I might do here and there, like the minor titles, and a major title every once in a blue moon, you'll see. But this show, I like this is what I like it for. Like, you know, it ended a double count out. Let's have a cage match. There's gonna be a winner. There is no interference from a Bella. Oh, that still cracks me up. But there's no interference from that. It is one-on-one, legit, in a cage match. There is gonna be a winner, and there's gonna be none of this count out crap. So that's what I'm hoping to use this show for, is we'll be able to kind of weed out who, you know, like who the real winner should be. If there's any controversy or a feud needs to continue, this is where it's going to go. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of interesting surprises coming with this show, because anything can happen. I mean, since feuds are going to be extending, that's 2 matches we can have in 1 week instead of having 2 matches within a 2-week span. So it's like, right now, Big Show coming out. What's that mean? CM Punk hitting Jericho. What does that mean? We will come to a conclusion on that on Raw, and we'll see what happens. But I have a feeling it's going to be pretty heated come Raw. And that's what I mean. Anything can happen with this cage match too. I mean, Rio could win, and Dolph Ziggler could come out and cash in his Money in the Bank. I mean, that's what I like about this show, is I can kind of really have a lot of freedom. I'm trying to keep it traditional with Raw and SmackDown, but this here, I want to kind of break the mold. Like, you know, have some specialty matches, do some things that we might not do on Raw and SmackDown, have nice continuances to feuds, or build feuds that can really, I think, excel here. If we have all matches on Raw and SmackDown that kind of came to a nice conclusion, I might not do something with them here and can just continue that on Raw, but it's like, maybe I can find, excuse me again, maybe I can, set up some other matches here, like, people that I want to use I didn't necessarily get to on Raw, and, I do have some stuff planned, but I said that's more so going to happen next month rather than this month. So I kind of want to build a few feuds, have enough for the pay-per-view. I don't want to oversaturate it, and then we can move on from there. So if you don't see a lot, like, there's some feuds that still might carry on, or some superstars that might carry on, because I obviously don't want to, like, completely make someone irrelevant. Like Randy Orton, if he is on fire this month, I'm not going to just, like, cut him out the next month. I think it's just ridiculous, so I wouldn't do something like that. But hopefully you get the point where I'm going with this. Alright guys, well, it's kind of coming to the end of the episode, and I think you guys waited long enough to get this, so I've been working on this commentary for like 2 days now, because just stuff is coming up, and Yeah, this is the end part where I had to cut it off again. So, if you guys liked it, remember to give it a like, and I appreciate the views and everything. You guys are great. Brawl will be coming out very soon, and I got some other stuff coming out, an update video that is being rendered at the moment. So, as again, if you guys liked it, make sure to give it a like, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the episode, and I will catch you next time. Shibbity wibbity.
This is all about desperation, about survival, inside these steel surroundings. Uh-oh. Didn't get too far that time.
Each of these competitors is looking for the slightest hint of weakness in the other.
This is where Del Rio is so dangerous. The brutality and viciousness of this type of match is unparalleled. Del Rio's in trouble. Watch it. Good night. Ouch. That wasn't very accurate. Has the arm. These competitors trying to keep their wits about them. Oh, look out. Don't go up there. It's really dangerous. Whoa, look how groggy he looks. He's in desperation here. Nice dodge there. Orton's going into... He's done it! He's going to escape the cage! He just needs to get both feet to hit the floor. And Orton wins. Just some of the action we saw during the match. Here's your winner, the Viper, Randy Orton. Wow, what a cage match. That was the greatest. You're absolutely right. The WWE Universe has just witnessed an historic match fought in this steel cage.